Hello, and welcome to our very first episode of Evolve. I am your host, Jamil Khoury, Arabic pronunciation, Jamil Khoury, founder and director of Polycultural Institute, the think and create tank of Chicago's Silk Road Cultural Center. Evolve is a podcast designed to be a mix of spoken essays, written and delivered by yours truly, and, further down the line, conversations with interesting and exciting thinkers, changemakers, innovators, and disruptors. Today's inaugural episode of Evolve also marks part one of our Rebuilding Syria collection. Rebuilding Syria is the first of a number of collections or thematic threads that we plan to roll out in the months and years to come. Please note that although Silk Road Cultural Center has been producing live theater and digital media for years, we are brand new to the world of podcasting. This is a new form of content creation for us, and we are eager to learn. Our initial plan is to release 1 to 2 episodes of Evolve each month. Over time, and as our capacity expands and, God willing, we begin to build an audience and a donor base, our hope is to produce a once-weekly podcast. Which brings us to Rebuilding Syria, the House of Assad Falls. For many of us, 2024 ended on a note of both exhilaration and uncertainty. On December 8th of 2024, something seemingly impossible, yet long prayed and fought for, actually happened. Syria's tyrannical, genocidal, 54-year Assad family dictatorship, father and son, came to a stunning and remarkable end. A seemingly endless nightmare now consigned to the garbage heap of history. The Assad regime turned Syria into a republic of fear and paranoia. Social trust and cohesion were eviscerated. Ethnic and religious communities were pitted against each other. Neighbors spied on neighbors. Even the bedrock extended family structure was harmed, turning brother against brother, child against parent, cousin against cousin. It was a regime that was thoroughly corrupt and scrupulously corrupting. A regime that suspended most human and civil rights, gutted due process, outlawed political liberty. A regime that rendered the Syrian people global pariahs, ranking the Syrian passport among the least respected and honored in the world. A regime that turned a proud nation into a depraved narco-state, a Captagon cartel. A regime that inflicted unspeakable levels of violence against innocent and defenseless civilians, and that terrorized, tortured, and impoverished Syrians for over half a century. A regime that unleashed chemical weapons against its own people. That regime has fallen. After a devastating 13-year war that by most credible estimates led to over 500,000 deaths, the Assad family crime syndicate fell to Islamist rebels with roots in ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and affiliated terror groups. More on those Islamist rebels in a future episode. Trust me, I have legitimate fears, but I also have genuine hopes. I'm cautiously, guardedly optimistic, and I'm worried. Today, the whereabouts of tens of thousands of Syrians remain unknown, and approximately 13 million Syrians, over half of Syria's population, are displaced, both internally and around the world. Vast areas of Syria's urban and rural landscapes literally lie in rubble, The national infrastructure has been largely decimated, and the precious heritage sites of one of the world's oldest civilizations have been damaged and looted. In a country that could once boast a relatively stable working class and middle class, today over 90% of Syrian households live below the poverty level, with basic needs largely out of reach and electricity available as little as 1 hour a day. What happened in Syria since 2011 is arguably the world's worst humanitarian crisis since World War II. It is an example of pure, unadulterated evil. The Assad regime brutally suppressed a popular uprising led by Syrians of all ethnicities and religions, all ages, and from all parts of the country. These were people yearning for freedom, pining for a better life, longing for human dignity, and dreaming of a worthy future. I'm not referring to criminal militias, or marauding gangs, or thuggish theocrats, or paid mercenaries, all of which materialized. I'm referring to non-sectarian, peaceful demonstrators who believed that the justice of their cause would garner the sympathy and support of freedom-loving people everywhere. Unfortunately, save for a few exceptions, that support never materialized. In the West and in the Arab world, both governments and publics effectively ignored, mischaracterized, or even vilified the pro-democracy, pro-civil society Syrians, leaving them at the mercy of a rapacious, totalitarian killing machine. Abandoned and betrayed, Syrian trauma was only further compounded. To add insult to injury, many Arabs and Westerners enthusiastically supported the Assad regime against the Syrian people, particularly on the so-called far left and far right of the political spectrums. Many were convinced that Assad was the lesser of two evils, the devil you know versus the devil you don't, kind of in the vein of, if you think they're bad, wait till you see the alternative. What they couldn't imagine was an authentically Syrian alternative to Assad, which was ethical, moral, and committed to equal and robust citizenship. Stated or otherwise, the assumption was that responsible and humane leadership was unrealistic considering the region and antithetical to Arab culture and Islam. I personally despise that line of thinking, but it seems to be contagious. Another popular argument was that Assad was the protector of religious and ethnic minorities. Perhaps, in a very limited sense, so long as those religious and ethnic minorities understood their place, which was in docile submission to the regime. The minute a minoritized member of society demanded a little freedom, a modicum of control over their own destiny, they too were brutally crushed, with their families and friends often harmed as well. But all tyrannies eventually come to an end. No system of oppression lasts forever, and we must give credit where credit is due. Contrary to the claims of some, external forces did not defeat the Assad dictatorship. Yes, the timing and rapidity of the regime's fall were undoubtedly affected by external events, global and regional players, but the credit and praise for overthrowing the House of Assad belongs to the people of Syria. It is a triumph and victory for the Syrian people, their resilience, their brilliance, their courage, their suffering, their sacrifices, their overcoming of insurmountable odds, and their unbreakable determination to be free. Let us salute, congratulate, and stand in awe of the brave and heroic Syrian people. In closing, my hope is that Bashar and Asma al-Assad and their upper echelons face justice for their egregious crimes against humanity. Please note, I am not calling for revenge or violence, God forbid. Syria will never recover and heal if we continue to replay that horror show. I'm calling for truth and reconciliation, accountability and justice. I don't know when or if that process will begin, but I pray that it does, for the sake of Syria's people and Syria's future. Thank you for joining us for this inaugural episode of Evolve. To learn more about Silk Road Cultural Center and Polycultural Institute, and to support us with a donation, please visit us at silkroadculturalcenter.org. If you enjoyed this content and want to help us expand our reach, please like, share, and subscribe. We all have a role to play in rebuilding Syria. Until next time, thank you for tuning in. May God bless and protect you.